people like others. Everyone has the right to live a happier life. Free life. In a freedom. Wherever you are. Wherever you came from. Whatever ethnicity you are. We need justice. We need justice. Please. Save BANYAMULENGE. Save BANYAMULENGE. Save BANYAMULENGE. Save BANYAMULENGE. Save BANYAMULENGE. In Mulenge. In Congo. In Congo. We need justice. We need justice. We need justice. Stop the genocide happening for BANYAMULENGE. In Congo. In Congo. Save BANYAMULENGE. Save BANYAMULENGE. Do something. Save BANYAMULENGE. BANYAMULENGE life matters. BANYAMULENGE life matters. We need justice. We need justice. Save BANYAMULENGE. Post. Share. On the media. Facebook. Instagram. YouTube. Twitter. Save BANYAMULENGE. The life we want. BANYAMULENGE wants it too. We need justice. We need justice. We need justice. Save BANYAMULENGE. In Congo. In Congo. Your help is much ignore genocide against BANYAMULENGE. Justice and peace. We need justice. Stop killing us. BANYAMULENGE and Congolese too. We need justice. If not now, then when? If not now, then when? If not now, then when? Do something. Raise your voice. Stop the genocide. Happening in Congo. In Mulenge. For our people. Our blood. My community. My brothers. Are getting killed. My sisters. Are getting killed. My fathers. My parents. They don't even do something. Australia government. Help us. To stop the genocide. Happening in Congo. For my people. BANYAMULENGE. Australian people. Help us. Raise the voice. To stop the genocide happening in Congo. For my people. BANYAMULENGE. We are BANYAMULENGE. From Mulenge. In Congo. Do something. Take a picture. A video. Share. Stop the genocide happening in Congo. For my people. Australian government. We need peace. In Mulenge. BANYAMULENGE. In Congo. Take a video. Post. Share. Tag your friends. begins with the killing of one man. Not for what he has done, but because of who he is.
Actions!
Now! Action!
Take action!
Now! Action!
Take action!
Now! Take action! Now! Australian people!
Australian people!
Australian people!
Australian people!
Australian people!
Australian people!
Help us, people!
For my 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 people!
In Mlenge!
In Mulenge!
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 Sabanya Mlenge!
Sabanya Mulenge!
Sabanya Mlenge!
Sabanya Mulenge!
Sabanya Mlenge!
Sabanya Mulenge!
Sabanya Mlenge!
Sabanya Mulenge!
In Mlenge!
In Mulenge!
In Mlenge!
In Mulenge!
We need justice!
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 In Congo!
In Congo!
Sabanya Mlenge!
Sabanya Mulenge!
In Mlenge!
In Mulenge!
In Mlenge!
In Mulenge!
We need justice!
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 Sabanya Mlenge!
Sabanya Mulenge!
Sabanya Mlenge!
Sabanya Mulenge!
Stop!
Stop!
Killing!
Killing!
Us!
Us!
Enough is enough!
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 Stop!
Stop! Killing us! Stop! Killing us! Stop! Killing us! Picasso! Queensland! Queensland! Do something!
President Tshisekedi! President Tshisekedi, take action now! Save Mulenge!
My people! In Mlenge! In Mlenge!
In Mulenge!
In Mlenge!
In Mulenge!
Madam Mlenge!
Madam Mulenge!
Who are
We are
in Eastern Congo
in Eastern Congo!
need justice
We need justice!
as they are
As they are
being killed
killed
today.
today!
Save Mlenge!
Save Mulenge!
Our people
Our people
are being killed.
are being killed!
We need peace.
We need peace!
We need justice.
We need justice!
Save Mlenge.
Save Mulenge!
I say to all leaders,
To our leaders!
do not look
Do not look
the other way.
the other way!
It will your power
Your power!
to avoid the killing.
The killing!
Save
Save Mulenge!
in Mlenge.
In Mulenge!
For my people.
For my people!
They live in bad life.
They live in our life!
We need justice.
We need justice!
Take action.
Take action!
Now.
Now!
Take action.
Take action!
Now.
Now!
We need peace.
We need peace!
100%. Take action.
Take action!
Now.
Now!
Take action.
Take action!
Now.
Now!
Madam Mlenge.
Mulenge!
Madam Mlenge.
Mulenge!
Madam Mlenge.
Mulenge!
They have a reason to live
They have a reason to live
in Congo
in Congo!
as others. Congolese.
Congolese!
Save Madam Mlenge.
Mulenge!
Save Madam Mlenge.
Mulenge!
Stop the ethnic. Of Madam Mlenge. In Congo. The tribe of Madam Mlenge. In DRC Congo. Needs justice. Needs help. Needs to be saved. To be saved. To be saved. How much more blood?
How much more blood?
Shed.
Shed!
Until
Until
the united
united!
take action.
Take action!
We need peace.
We need peace!
We need peace.
We need peace!
We need peace.
We need peace!
Brisbane.
Brisbane!
City Council.
City Council!
Government.
Government!
Police.
Police!
Governors.
something.
Do something.
Do something.
To help us.
Help us.
Raise the voice.
Right.
Stop the killing.
Stop the killing.
Of Banyamulenge people.
Banyamulenge people.
Of Banyamulenge people.
Banyamulenge people.
In Congo.
In Congo.
In Congo.
In Congo.
In Congo.
In Congo.
We will not. Are we right? Yes. Are we right?
Yes.
Okay. We need justice.
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 In Congo.
In Congo.
For Banyamulenge.
Banyamulenge.
In Mulenge.
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 Do something.
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 Parliament.
Parliament.
Do something.
Do something.
To help us.
Help us.
Stop
Stop
the killing
the killing
of Banyamulenge.
of Banyamulenge.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
In Congo.
In Congo.
In Congo.
In Congo.
UN.
UN.
United Nations.
United Nations.
UN.
UN.
United Nations.
United Nations.
Human rights.
Human rights.
This is your moment.
This is your moment.
It is your time
This is your time.
to take action.
Take action.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
For Banyamulenge.
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 We need justice.
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 For Banyamulenge.
For Banyamulenge.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
We need justice.
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 For Banyamulenge.
For Banyamulenge.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
Stop
Stop
the killing
the killing
of
of
Banyamulenge.
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 Lives matter.
Lives matter.
Lives matter.
Lives matter.
Stop
Stop
the killing
the killing
of
of
Banyamulenge.
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 Share.
Share.
Do something.
Do something.
On your media. Your voice. Can help. To serve. Our people.
Our people.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
We need justice.
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 In the Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
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 Government of Australia.
Of Australia.
Police officers.
Police officers.
You can do something.
You can do something.
Rise.
Rise.
The voice.
Voice.
And stop
And stop
the killing
the killing
of
of
Banyamulenge.
Banyamulenge.
In Congo.
In Congo.
In Congo.
In Congo.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
In Mulenge.
Now,
Now,
my people,
my people,
kids,
kids,
parents,
parents,
grandpa,
grandpa,
grandma,
grandma,
they live
they live
in the forest.
in the forest.
They don't have
They don't have
peace
peace
in
in
Mulenge.
Mulenge.
But why not?
Why not?
We need peace.
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 Everybody kneel down, please. We need justice.
We need justice.
We need hope.
We need hope.
From the state government.
From the state government.
We need peace.
We need peace.
We need peace.
We need peace.
We're begging for peace.
We begging for peace.
We just feel like others.
We are people like that.
We just don't live like others. We need your help. We need your support.
We need your support.
We need justice.
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 The state government, help us. Help us.
Help us.
Help us.
Help us.
Please.
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 We need your help.
We need your help.
We need justice.
We need justice.
Everyone needs justice. Everyone needs justice. We need justice.
We need justice.
Banyamulenge needs peace. Banyamulenge needs peace. Banyamulenge needs peace.
We need justice.
We need justice.
We need justice.
Stop the killing.
Stop the killing.
Stop killing.
Stop killing.
Stop killing us.
Stop killing us. Save Mulenge. Save Mulenge. Save Banyamulenge. We need justice. We need peace. We need peace. We need peace. We need peace. We need justice. Take action now. Please take action now. Please take action now. Please take action now. Banyamulenge need justice. Is Mulenge. Save Mulenge. Save Banyamulenge. We need help.
Stop killing us.
Stop killing us.
We need justice.
We need justice.
We need help.
We need help.
Stop killing us.
Stop killing us.
Stop killing us.
Stop killing us.
We said never again.
We say never again.
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 We need justice.
We need justice.
We need peace.
Help us.
Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Paratuski.
Mire mwese abatubona n'abatwumva twaje hano ku gikorwa cya Save Mulenge kugira ngo tubwire government yo muri Australia, government ya Queensland idufashe dukorere advocacy kugira ngo tumenye ukuntu twafasha abantu biwacu imurenge, abantu bo muri Eastern Congo kubera ko barimo gupfa hamaze nk'imyaka 6 bakomeza kubakorera violence, wars, violence idahagarara. Buri mwaka tugomba duhangayitse buri mwaka kubera iki gikorwa. None twafashe umwanzuro wo kuza hano kugira ngo tumenyeshe abantu, abanyamaguru n'abandi bantu bose kugira ngo bamenye ikintu ibyo ibirimo kuba muri Congo, badufashe mu bushobozi ubwo aribwo bwose. Twafashe ama posters, aba youth, abagore, abagabo bose turi hano, twese twaretse akazi kacu kugira ngo tuze baduhe ubufasha bwose ubwo baduha. Namwe abareba iyi video cyangwa iyi message ndabashishikariza kuyisharinga nabo muzi mwese, abayobozi muzi mwese kugira ngo badufashe. Violence is stopping kubera ko it's too much, it needs to stop. It's too much, it needs to stop. We've had enough. This has been going on for so many years. And we need this to stop. We need people to come together. We need harmony, we need unity, we need peace, we need justice in our country. The place in Mulenge is actually our place. People have been living there for 400 years plus. When colonial rule happened, they were living, when the borders, when the Belgium came and put the borders in place, the people were put in the Congo side. So, which means they're Congolese, which means that's where they're citizens of Congo. That's where they belong. So any other person that thinks that we don't belong there, we actually do. People were born there. Their great-grandmothers were born there, so they have nowhere to go. If they get pushed away to go to other countries, they become refugees. They become migrants. No one wants to be a refugee for the rest of their life. We all need a home. We all need a place to call home. Even us, the Australians that are here, there is a time is going to come and we're going to have to go back home to our home country. We need to develop our country. We need to develop our home hometown where we come from. So people need to stop the violence, and we need to come together and work together as one.
murakoze cyane. Ni umwanya mwiza wo kugira ngo tubabwire impamvu turi aha ngaha. Njyewe mu mazina nitwa Justin, ndi umushumba w'itorero, ariko kandi ubabajwe n'ibibera mu gihugu cyacu, kandi ntiyagiye aba meza mu bihe bitandukanye, ariko ndavuga ibiriho ubu ngubu. Kuva hashize ngira ngo hari imyaka 5 irengaho, turi mu bihe bibi by'intambara, turi mu bihe bibi zo kwicwa, kandi tukicwa nabo duturanye, abaturanyi bacu, kandi tukicwa gutyo dufite leta, turi kumwe na leta ihari isa naho ibirebera. Ariko uyu munsi twaje kugira ngo dutakire isi, tubabwire rwose bazamura ijwi ryabo, bagerageze kudutakira isi, twumve isi, dutabare isi, imenye ibibazo tuhaduhura nabyo. Byatangiye bitangira mbere, batangira basenya hafi akarere kose ka Mulenge, imihana yose baratwika, abantu baja hanze mu bihuru, ku misozi, badafite ikibafasha. Isi isa naho ibateye umugongo, ariko tukaba dushimira Imana ko ikomeje kubafasha, ndetse yakomeje kubafasha mu bihe byatambutse. Twari tuzi ko twe birangiye, ariko Imana irahagarara, irarinda. Ubu rero tukaba twaje gutakira leta ya Australia, tubabwira ngo nibadufashe kuzamura ijwi ryabo. Ijwi ryabo ni rinini, ijwi ryabo rirumvikana, batakire amahanga, batakire isi. Ikindi twifuza nuko leta ya Kongo, nka leta ifite kuducungira umutekano cyangwa se kuturinda, idufashe kugira ngo igarure amahoro muri karagace, ibe mu ruhande, mbese ise naho iturinda, kuko nishinzwe kuturinda. Hasigaye nkaba numva mu by'ukuri uyu munsi turababaye, ni umunsi w'umubabaro, ni umunsi w'agahinda, ariko reka tubabwire ko tugatuye iyi si kugira ngo twumve, abari aha ngaha n'abataraha bose bumve. Murakoze.
The BANYAMULENGE community protesting against the ethnic cleansing that is happening in DRC Congo, specifically in South Kivu. This ethnic cleansing is targeting BANYAMULENGE in South Kivu, where they have burned their houses, robbed their cattle, and most especially murdered people from this minority group. As BANYAMULENGE, we have witnessed these killings. We have lost our relatives. We are left helpless. The aim of this protest is to advocate for our people so that this ethnic cleansing can come to an end. We are devastated. We are tired of the killings that have been happening for decades. We are pleading for help from the Australian government, UN officials, and other organizations and personnel that have the human rights in their responsibilities. The power is to lead us to justice for our people. We need justice for our people. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Arako. Then
today we gathered here in a cause to protest against the killing of our people. Our people are being killed. Girls like me are being raped. Mothers are being persecuted. It is aimed to exterminate the BANYAMULENGE people. We are here seeking for justice. Any voice will be appreciated. Any help will be appreciated. Please help us. We are being killed. We are being massacred. It has started a long time ago. Even 400 years. Sorry. It has been 4 years since we were persecuted. We are being killed mercilessly. Our homes are being burned. The cattle are being looted. And we are here seeking for justice. Yes, we know we cannot be like those fictional superheroes who can save the world in a day. But there's one thing we can do. We can take a step and start by saving my people. That's how we can get the world peace. We know we will never be able to save everyone, but this is one step in a million steps that we can take to save my people. My people are being killed. Yes, you give me peace here. I'll have peace, I'll have security. But what about my people? You expect me to have a home, yet I do not have a home. Sorry. Enough is enough. Our lives matter. I do not have a home. I am homeless. Yes, you gave me the citizenship, but does that change anything? Of what gain is all that for if we do not have a home? We do not have a place to call homes. Our parents are being killed. Our grandmothers are being killed. They do not have a place to live. They're in the bushes. They do not have a shelter. They're being killed. They're being mercilessly killed. They're being ruthlessly killed. But until when, the UN and all other people? Let me tell you this: if you are one of those agencies that claim to be protecting people, but you do not do anything, know that I'm scared of you. I'm disgusted of you. How dare you? You came to save people. You came to protect people's rights, but yet there you are, drinking every coffee in the world and sitting in your fancy chairs. Like, shame on you! Shame on you for not being able to protect the rights of the people, for protecting the rights of children. In the human rights book, in the human rights book, it states that all lives are meant to be protected. You teach us in schools that our lives are protected, but does it exclude my people? Are my people excluded in that category? At least let us know that we were excluded in the first place. But if you're going to sit there claiming that you can save other people's life, you can save the world's life, you can save all people that are dying mercilessly, then do something. Don't just sit in the fancy chairs claiming to be world leaders, and then you are doing nothing. All countries around the world, about 200, I don't know, all the continents in the world, you have overwatched what is happening. You have done nothing. Shame on you. Shame on anyone who's going to hear this and not do anything. Shame on you. You are less of a human. You do not be, I'm not here to condemn you. But if you're going to see all of this, if you have seen all the photos, if you have seen everything that is happening back home in my country, and you have taken no action, shame on you, and you're not supposed to be called a human. You are less of a human, because what is humanity? Humanity is seeing other people die and actually be concerned. But why is your concern? Just overseeing all that and ignoring it. Like, shame on you. I'm disgusted being called a human, same as you, when you're doing nothing about it. Shame on you. All these deaths, all this persecution, all these exterminations, we have seen it, and it has become part of us. Like, it's not okay. It's not okay for a young girl like me to watch all that and think that, okay, that's okay, that's part of me. It's not part of any human to lose people. It is not part of any human to lose their family members in wars, yet the world is doing nothing. All the world leaders, scholars in the Australian government, we're gathered here, and now you may, like, seriously, the same thing happened to Myanmar, and they got so many media attention. But what about my people? This is sad. This is heartbreaking. Seeing whatever happened in South Sudan, the whole world cares. But what about my people? What about Banyamulenge people? Are we not people like you? This is very heartbreaking, and I'm disgusted to be called a human. I'm disgusted with this humanity. Sometimes I wish I was in another world, because this is very heartbreaking. Seeing people, seeing videos, seeing photos, witnessing all that. Our mothers, our grandmas have witnessed all that. And do we not deserve to be called people? Do we not deserve to live? This is our right. If you put it in the human rights obligation, then we're supposed to live. We're supposed to be cared for. We're supposed to be protected. Do not teach us in school that the human rights protect the right of people, but actually our rights are not protected. What would I tell my teacher? Like, how you expect us to do well in classes? You expect us to do well in school, but how can we do so if all these people have seen all that is happening, and yet you're doing nothing? I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted if you're going to see all this and do nothing. not a human. Because what's the difference of you and our perpetrators? Because they're doing the same thing. They're not bothered with killing other people. Because our perpetrators think it's okay to kill another human. And you are doing that indirectly. Because you're ignoring all that and there's no difference. What is the difference between you who's walking by and you're going to ignore this, but people back home are being killed, they're being massacred. Even in the refugee camps, it doesn't feel safe because what happened in 2004, people were killed in the refugee camps. They were found asleep and they burned them to tents. Then what place is safe for us? What place should we leave? What place should we stay? If we do not belong to this one, then where do we belong? We're not even recognized by the Congo government. It's the one killing us. It is the one turning a blind eye to everyone that is being killed. This war has gone for ages. Like even the first fleet arrived in Australia in like 1788, and that was 200 years ago. And you still consider all the slaves that came. You consider them. You consider them Australians, right? But what about more people? They were in Congo even 400 centuries before that. But we're still referred to outsiders. We don't belong. Then where do we belong? Because even in Australia, if we flee here, you expect us to have a home. But we do not have that home. It's being taken from us. What about us? Do we not matter? Do we not deserve to live? Only the Creator has the right to take the life from a person, not a fellow person. You don't have to. A fellow person cannot decide whether a person should live or not. Let us be concerned. If you're just walking by, if you're just watching by, and you're doing nothing, know that we are suffering, and this is very heartbreaking. Because if you're a human, you should be concerned. If you're a human, you should be concerned. For goodness sake, like where is humanity? Why is the ounce of humanity in you? Do something. Do something. We're here demanding justice. We're here demanding for our rights to be observed. Like, why? Why should we be the one to demand our rights if they are actually in the human rights obligations? Like why? Why should all these kids miss school so that their justice can be served? Isn't that the job of the United Nations and other human rights obligations? Why should the mothers deny themselves work? Why should the fathers come here in the sun, in the scorching sun, just to demand their rights? Why? Because you do not care about us. And here we are taking action, demanding for our voices to be heard. If you're here and you're not concerned to even take a photo and go post it on social media so we can spread awareness, then this is very sad. Like, it's very sad. How dare you? How dare you? Where is humanity in you? If you have an ounce of humanity left in you, then we urge you to do something. We urge you to do something for these people. Because this has been ongoing for 100 years. Not even our sisters were born. But here we are, still asking for the same thing. When they banned the refugees in 2004, we got no media coverage. We were only given refuge, but actually the United Nations did nothing. Then here we are, 17 years later. Let that sink in. 17 years later, and we're still demanding for the same justice. We're still demanding for our voices to be heard. Like, how louder should we get? How louder should we get so our voices can be heard? Please help us. Please help us. Today it's me, and we do not know about tomorrow. I mean, okay, this is my fate. This is my fate to just watch my people die, and maybe eventually I'll die. guarantee, because if it's ethnic cleansing, then I am from my own ethnicity, and that includes me as well. Then yes, I would die. And is that our fate? Is that what we are created for? Just to die? To die being killed by fellow people like us? Like, what's wrong? Why should it be us? I repeat again, the same thing has been happening for all the countries, but even though there's no media coverage at all, like people do not care about what's happening. Not even this wouldn't even be covered in any articles. Like, please, if you have any ounce of humanity left, then it should be your concern as a human. This should be your concern. This should be your concern as a human. I am urging you here today, because we're not going to stop. If you're sick and tired of us, then you don't have a choice, because we're going to continue until you who has an ounce of humanity left in you will start sharing this and actually make the world know about what is happening in Congo. Make the world know about what is happening for my people. I know you.
Wapendwa, katika nchi hii ambayo tuliomo, nchi ya Australia, katika wapendwa, katika nchi ya Australia ambayo tuliomo, sisi kama Wanyamulenge ambayo wanatoka kusini mwa Kongo, DRC, tuko hapa kama kabila la Wanyamulenge ambayo tunauawa bila hatia. Watoto kwa wamama, vijana kwa wasichana ama wakike, tunakuja kuomboleza. Ndiyo sababu sisi wote ambayo tuko hapa, hata na wengine waliobaki nyumbani, tumekuja hapa ili tuweze kuomboleza, tuweze kupandisha sauti yetu, ili Australia iweze kutusikia, iweze kutuelewa, ama katika mahali hapa tulipo, viongozi wa nchi ya Australia waweze kututetea. Kwa sababu sisi wenyewe hatuwezi kujitetea, kwa sababu tunauawa kama vile wanyama wanavyouawa katika misituni. Hata na wanyama pia wanayo haki ya kuishi, lakini sisi wakituona wanaona ya kwamba sisi sio watu wa kuishi kama wengine, ni kama hatuna damu kama za wengine. Ndiyo sababu siku ya leo tumeandamana katika hii andamano, ama katika hii jinsi mnavyotuona sisi, tumekuja tukiinua mikono yetu pia na sauti zetu, ili muweze kutuelewa, kwa sababu hatuna cha kufanya. Wazazi wetu wanauawa, vijana wanauawa, wababa wanauawa, wamama wanauawa, yaani watoto wanauawa bila hatia, bila kitu chochote kile tulichokifanya katika dunia hii. Kwa sababu Mungu aliyotuumba, ametuumba tukiwa sisi wote tuna imani ya kuishi na tunayo haki ya kuishi. Lakini wale ambao katika nchi ya Kongo DRC tunaoishi nao wanatuona kama sisi sio watu wa kuishi, kama Red Tabara na kundi la Maimai wanatuona kama sisi ni watu ambayo hatustahili kuishi. Lakini tunaomba usaidizi wa Australia, tunaomba amani katika nchi ya Kongo, tunaomba amani katika wilaya ya Minembwe, tunaomba amani Minembwe, tunaomba amani Southern Kivu, katika nchi ya Kongo tunaomba amani. Na ndiyo sababu tumekuja hapa, kwa sababu hatuna kile chochote tulichokifanya, hatuna dhambi zozote za kustahili sisi tuuawe. Ndiyo sababu tunaomba government Australia ili iweze kutusaidia kuleta amani kwetu. Tunaomba usaidizi wao, tunaomba usaidizi, tunaomba utetezi. Ndiyo sababu tunapandisha hii sauti, ili waweze kutuelewa, muweze kutusikia, muweze kutuhifadhi, ili tusiuawe kama vile mtu mwingine anavyotaka kutuua. Na sisi pia tuna damu kama ya watu wengine duniani, tuna damu ya kuishi na tuna haja ya kuishi. Tuna sababu nyingi za kuishi kama watu wengine duniani gisi wanavyoishi, kama Australia gisi tunavyoishi. Na tunaomba amani kwetu, tunaomba amani kwetu kusini mwa Kongo, tunaomba amani itawale katika ukoo wa Wanyamulenge. Sisi ni Wanyamulenge, Tuko hapa kama Wanyamulenge, na ndio sababu tunatetea Mnyamulenge yoyote mahali alipo duniani, lakini sana sana mahali tulipo kwetu, mahali tumezaliwa, mababu zetu na bibi zetu tumezaliwa katika nchi ya Kongo, kusini mwa Kongo, Southern Kongo. Hapo ndipo tumezaliwa, huko ndiko kwetu, huko ndiko tumetoka, hapo ndipo Mungu ametuumbia tuishi hapo. Wanatuua, wanatukuta kwenye manyumba zetu, wanachoma nyumba, wanachoma nyumba kukiwa wazazi, kukiwa watoto. Watoto hawana masomo, watoto hawasomi, hawana chakula, hawana cha kuvaa, wanaishi kwenye misitu. Lakini watu wengine duniani wanaishi katika nyumba, lakini sisi tunaishi kwa misitu kwa sababu tunakimbia wale wauaji wanaotaka kutuua. Ndiyo sababu tunawaomba tafadhali mtusikie, msikie sauti yetu, msikie hao watu wote wanaoishi hapa Australia. Tuna ndugu zetu wanaoishi Kongo, lakini wanaishi kwa tabu, wanaishi kwa vita kali mno. Miaka karibu 5 inaisha tukiwa tunauawa bila hatia. Tunaomba usaidizi wenu, government ya Queensland, tunaomba usaidizi wenu. Tunaomba ili muweze kututetea. Tunaomba Tshisekedi, president wa Kongo, rais wa Kongo, ili aweze kusimamisha yale mauaji kwa usaidizi wenu. Tunayo imani ya kwamba hii sauti itafika kwa watu wengi, itafika kwa UN, itafika kwa viongozi ambao wanaoweza kuleta amani katika mahali popote ambapo hawana amani. Tunawaomba, tunainua mikono yetu ili muweze kututetea mahali popote tulipo. Tunasema ni asante kwa usaidizi wenu. Tena tunayo imani ya kwamba hii sauti yetu tunayopandisha, tunajua ya kwamba imewafikia. Tena mtafanya jambo la muhimu, tena jambo la busara, tena jambo la kutufurahisha na jambo la kututetea. Mubarikiweni, tena muendelee kuwa na amani. Pia na sisi tunaomba amani kwetu. Asante.
Ndagira ngo uno munsi muzi twese cyatuzinduye hano ni hejuru y'Abanyamulenge bari bakorerwa genocide hariya muri Republika Iharanira Demokarasi ya Kongo iri iwacu Murenge. Reka mbabwire Murenge aho Umunyamulenge atuye gakondo yiwe ni mu province Kongo ifite ama province 26 yose. Dutuye muri province ya Sud Kivu ni Iburasirazuba bwo mu majepfo ya Kongo. Umunyamulenge atuye mu territoire 3: territoire ya Fizi, ya Uvira na Mwenga. Aho ni iwacu muzamwumva kuvuka ni Murenge. Rero no munsi kuba turi hano ni bibabaje, nuko bari gihe kirekire tugize iminsi twitwa n'abaturanyi abo dusangiye, abo twaturanye kuva kera, ayandi moko yacu, umupfurero, umunyindu, umubembe. Rero batwishe kera kuva mu 1964, ariko bigeze muri 2017 babona atari tosha. Baravuga ati no dukore genocide, aba bantu tubamare muri Kongo tubarandure burundu. Ibyo bimaze gukorwa bafatikanyije bamwe n'abanyepolitike bacu babo bakorera guverinoma ya Kongo. Ubwo bakora uwo mugambi wo kutumara, barawugerageza, n'ubu nicyo barabakora. Batwikiye abagore, batwikiye abagabo, batwikiye abana, ibintu byose barabitwaye, basenye imihana baratwitse, abantu bari ku musozi ntibagira kirengera. Rero twe turi hano tuje gutakira amahanga, cyane cyane leta yacu ya Queensland, ubuyobozi bwayo budufashe kutuvugira aho tutagera n'ahandi hose mu miryango mpuzamahanga irengera ikiremwa cyazina muntu, irengera abicwa bose n'abarengana muri iyi si. Turabizi neza iyi ni leta igendera ku mahame ya demokarasi, leta nziza yumva ikibazo cya buri muntu wese, leta ivuga bikijana. Turumva tubasaba leta abanyakubahwa bayobozi ba Queensland, abaturage ba Australia bose, abantu baraha bafite uwo mutima w'imbabazi no kurengera ikiremwa muntu cyitwa kizira karengane, abantu bazira uko basuko bavutse ariko bakavuga ngo bicwe, kandi tuzira uko twavutse nta na kimwe twakoze. Twaratatse, twatakiye perezida wacu Tshisekedi tumubwira ikibazo dufite ko tugiye gushira n'imitwe yaba mayimayi yabaye coalition n'izindi ngabo ziturutse mu bihugu by'abaturanyi za FNL, Red Tabara, Parpeutu bifatikanye na mayimayi zari amoko yose zirahura kugira ngo zirandure uwitwa umunyamurenge. Rero tukaba tuvuze dusabiye guverinema ihaguruka idufashe gutaka itubwirira amahanga Nations Unies n'ibindi bihugu byose kugira ngo birenganure abanyamurenge bikirwa muri kariya karere basamburwa basahura, kandi igihe niki niba tabireba tuzi ko mu minsi mike abantu bazaba bashize. Turasaba kandi leta turabizi mu by'ukuri ko ari leta nziza irabidukorera kandi zabidufashamwo, turanayizi turanayikunda izina turengera. Murakoze.
We need justice for Banyamulenge women. Banyamulenge women are being raped. Every day we see pictures of women laying on the street dying. We need help. If Australian government can demonstrate because of the mask, because of Corona, because of COVID, why not us? We need help. We need help. We're standing here on behalf of women of Banyamulenge. Please, government of Australia, we're asking for help. If we can do something, we'll do it, but we don't have power. We're asking people in power. We're asking people in power to advocate for women. Children are being killed every day. They're suffocating in the tents. Children are being laid, sleeping in the street, in the forest. We're here standing here because we can never have peace in our homes, even though we're here in Australia. We're here in Australia. I know we have peace here, but we can never go to work and concentrate. Every day we go to work, but we can never concentrate because what is happening back home in our country. Please, we're asking for Australian government to do something. We can never keep quiet. We can never keep quiet when we see what's going on in our hometown. People are being killed. People are being tortured every day. Mothers are being raped. Girls, young ones. Please, we're asking, we're begging. We can't keep quiet. Australian government, we are here. We have our kids here. They did not went to school today. They did not go to school today. We have people who works for government here. We didn't went to work today because our lives matter. Banyamulenge lives matter. We are here and we're here. If we sit back home, then what can we do? Please, we ask for Australian government, if you have a human heart, if you have people in power, if you have a human heart, if you can get, I know Australian Aussies are people with good heart. I know they're going to hear us, even though there's not any medias here, but we know, we are very sure that you're going to hear us, our voices. We are here to save Mulenge. We are here to speak for our people who are voiceless. We can't sit down and keep quiet because of what's going on. The massacres, the genocide started very long time ago and it's still going on. And till today, as I'm talking, there are people who are dying because of hunger. They have no shelters under their head. They have nothing to feed their kids. Mothers, imagine if you are a mother and you have nothing to feed your kid and you can see your kid dying because of hunger. Imagine that. Imagine if you're watching your kids dying because of hunger. Imagine there's some babies, 1 year old. I saw a video of 1 year old being in the container and they're suffocating to death because they can't breathe. They lock them in the prison and they put them in the container and they close the container. And those kids, they're innocent. They don't know anything about the politics. And we're here crying our voices. Please, government of Australia, can you do something? If you can do something because of the face mask, if people can protest because of face masks, imagine people of Banyamulenge who are dying, innocent people, because of how they were born, because of how God created them. We are very tired and we're very tired. If you can hear this voice, please, we beg for help. We're begging for help. Help us. We can't sit down and watching what's going on and have nothing to say, but we are heartbroken. Every day we can't concentrate on our work when we go to work. I know we are here, but our hearts are not here. We're with our people who are suffering back home in Congo, and we're asking for United Nations to What are your job? Please do your job. Human rights, please fight for us. We are tired when we're very tired. Every day hearing people dying, watching people dying. Mothers, I am a mother, I have little ones. Imagine if I see babies dying on the street because of hunger, and here people are throwing food out. That's very sad. If you have a heart of a human, please feel sorry for us and do something. Thank you, government of Australia.
We need justice. We need justice. Save Banyamulenge. Banyamulenge lives matter. Yeah, now Banyamulenge described as a minority community in the southern Kivu of Democratic Republic of Congo. Since 1964, Banyamulenge has been the target of attacks carried out in different episodes until now. The major problem facing Banyamulenge community currently in South Kivu in the Democratic Republic of Congo is that of the genocide in full execution under the helpless guise of the United Nations force on the spot by the name MONUSCO. Since 2017, the Banyamulenge has been the target of various attacks coordinated by the local Mai Mai and foreigner army groups, in particular Red Tawara. It is questionable whether the Mai Mai of the Burundi and the Burundian rebel allied in the name Red Tawara are brigade of the armed force of DRC Congo FRDC. A unit of intention community with the FRDC collaborates, as is the case with MONUSCO, an armed group which must be tracked down by the FRDC in the drive to impose peace on the national territory. The toll of this atrocity and massive human rights violation is at stake. More than 135 people have been killed. 300 villages have been burned down and destroyed. More than 150,000 livestock, cows, has been raided by the Mai Mai militia and the Burundian rebel allies. The Banyamulenge population who fled their village have mostly found refuge either in the camp for internally displaced person of Mikenke and or in concentration camps in the center of Minembwe. It should be recalled here for all intents and purpose that Banyamulenge leaders have on many occasions met with both civil and military authorities in Minembwe as in Bukavu to present their grievances and demands, begging them to come to their aid of a community seriously threatened with execution by this disastrous coalition of Mai Mai militias group joined by the foreign armed group. During these meetings, the danger and abuse suffered by the Banyamulenge community since 2017 was widely explained with supporting evidence opposite the calls for all help hit on the wall of indifferences. And hardly disturbed the sleep of the recipients, they rather subtly ignore them. In addition to destroying their homes, raiding their cows, and that was not enough to make life difficult for Banyamulenge, the Mai Mai, in collision with Red Tarawa and another group, will pass the final assault on the plane itself to exterminate the Banyamulenge. Since 2017, the FRDC timidly observed what was happening against the Banyamulenge. Today they have openly engaged in the process of massive assassination of the Banyamulenge. If previous FRDC elements secretly coordinated attacks against the Banyamulenge, today it is the FRDC who carry out this attack themselves against unarmed civilians, killing. Women and people of all kinds, killings of women and people of all kinds. Recent event in Minembwe proved the existence of massacre plan of genocide against the Banyamulenge. How to justify the imprisonment of a 12-year-old child, locked up for days in a death container in which Banyamulenge died in March 2021 of suffocation after having tied up and tortured him. The plan to exterminate the Banyamulenge does not date today. In 2004, 152 Banyamulenge refugee civilians were massacred in Gatumba refugee camp near Bujumbura and wounded 106 people. The tragedy was more than massacre itself, because the way it was done was horrible and still haunts the memories of survivors who until now are claiming for justice. Children, pregnant women, and other vulnerable people were burned in their tents. Responsible for those massacres are still Mai Mai and FNL, a rebel group from the neighboring country Burundi. Today, thousands of Banyamulenge families have fled their villages in Rurambo due to attacks by the Mai Mai and aforementioned foreign armed groups. All these families have settled in Ruzizi, where they live in difficult conditions. In addition to the arid and hot climate of the Ruzizi plain, their families have been deprived of their possessions and do not yet benefit from any humanitarian assistance whatsoever. In addition, their safety is not guaranteed because the danger of being attacked by the Mai Mai and their allies is imminent. The same event, similar to those of Gatumba in 2004, can happen again. Minembwe has become a slaughterhouse for peaceful Banyamulenge citizens and a really lion's den in which the Banyamulenge are between the claws and sharp teeth of the lions, which are the Mai Mai group, Red Tarawa, and some elements in the FRDC, without help of abandonment to their sad fate. Undoubtedly, what is happening now is well-planned genocide from the highest authority of the country, and Kinshasa is sparing no effort to secure the eastern of the republic, in particular the Banyamulenge minority group. We call on the international community, in particular the Australian government, United Nations, to call to the authority in Kinshasa and inform the international community about the genocide plan against the Banyamulenge, which is already being carried out. The atrocity against Banyamulenge should be considered as a violation of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide in its Article 2, as ratified by General Assembly Resolution 260A3 of 9 December 1948. Now, to conclude, we call upon the United Nations, Australian government to show up, stand up, speak up. We need justice.
We need justice.
We need justice.
We need justice.
Save Banyamulenge. Banyamulenge lives matters.
Kuza kuri iyi event mwakoze, Imana ibahe umugisha. Turizera ko ibi mwakoze ntabwo bigenda gutyo, ibyo ari byo byose Imana irahari kandi biratanga umusaruro. Tubasaba muri mwese aho muherereye, mukomeze mukora ubuvugizi, nuzazura haba ari ku ishuri uvuga ikibazo dufite uko kimeze, haba ari mu macace musengeramo, ama communities yandi muziranye hano muri iki gihugu, mukomange aho muherereye hose. Twirwaneho, kwirwanaho ntabwo ari abariya gusa, umuntu wese ahari nibi turimo dukora no kwirwanaho. Mwakoze rero, turabashimiye mwese, Imana ibahe umugisha kandi Imana itanga amahoro mu gihugu cyacu. Hanyuma nagira ngo mbamenyeshe ko dusoza
turi hano mu myigaragambyo yo kwamagana ubwicanyi buri gukorerwa ubwoko bwacu mu Minembwe cyangwa muri Sud Kivu, ubwoko bw'Abanyamulenge bumaze iminsi buri mu bibazo. Hano twaje gutakira leta ya Australia ngo izamure ijwi ryayo kugira ngo buriya bwicanyi bubashe guhagarara. Abagore barafatwa ku nguvu, abana baricwa, abadamu baricwa, abapapa baricwa, imitungo yaranyazwe, amashuri yarasambutse. Rero turasaba leta ya Australia, turasaba komite international ibashe kurengera ubwoko bwacu, kuko bumaze iminsi igihe bwicwa n'imitwe yitwaje ibigwanisho, mayimayi, Red Tabara, n'imitwe y'abanyamahanga imaze imyaka hafi 5 yose ibayica ubwoko bwacu. Rero turasaba abantu bose batwumva, turasaba abantu bose birwanaho mu buryo bwose bushoboka, bo kwigwanaho mu buryo bufatika, ari abatanga amafaranga, ari abigaragambya, tuza ijwi ryacu rizumvikana. Rero ijwi ryacu rirakenewe, ryawe rirakenewe, ukeneye kwigwanaho, ukeneye kuzamura ijwi ryawe kugira ngo ubwoko bwacu bashe gutabagwa. Tituzi aho inzira zo gutabara zizava, ariko turagerageza kukomanga ahantu hose hano muri leta ya Australia, mu miryango mpuzamahanga, kugira ngo babashe gutabara ubwoko bwacu. Rero turi hano twaje kubwira leta ya Australia yatwakiriye muri kino gihugu ngo ibashe kutwumva, ibashe kuzamura ijwi ryayo kugira ngo ubwicanyi buri gukorerwa hariya bubashe guhagarara. Tunasaba leta ya Kisekedi, guverinoma ya Kongo, ibashe guhagarika buriya bwicanyi buri gukorerwa ubwoko bwacu. N'umunyamulenge wese ahari yakagombye gufata umwanya munini gutekereza ku kiriya kintu kiri hariya, abasore bagatabara, ababyeyi ko baricwa umunsi ku wundi. Rero reka dusabe abantu bose n'iyi leta ya Australia twakiriye kugira ngo ibashe guhagarika, ibashe kuzamura ijwi ryayo, buriya bwicanyi bubashe guhagarara. Murakoze cyane kugira ngo abantu bose babashe kumva ibintu byose biba bikorerwa hariya. Murakoze
cyane. reka dufate uyu mwanya dushimira buri wese wabashe kuba ahantu uyu munsi muri iki gikorwa twari dufite. Cyari gisaba buri wese kuhaba uruhare rwiwe rwari ingenzi. Ababyeyi bahabonetse abasore n'inkumi ndetse n'abana batoya mwese mwabashe kuza, mwatanze umusanzu ukomeye mu buryo bwo kuvugira ubwoko, bwo gutabara ubwoko, bwo kubutabariza. Ni ikintu kinini gifite ingaruka nziza ku bwoko kuko tuba dushaka kuvugira. Turi mu bihe bigoye nk'uko muri wese abizi, ibihe bigoye ubwoko. Iwacu ku ivuko aho dukomoka twese muri Kongo, mu teritwari ya Fizi ndetse na Uvira na Mwenga, aho abantu bafite ibibazo bigize imyaka irenze 5, ariko kuba tugifite iri shaka ryo kuvugira ubwoko bwo kubyuka kubavugira ni ikintu cy'ingenzi. Kenshi benshi bumva kuko bikwiriye guhagarara, ariko nimba iciza ciganwa na buri wese, n'ikibi ni nako kikwiriye kugwanwa na buri wese, tugafata iya mbere kugira ngo tukirwanye kuzageza igihe kizavaho, kuko ntabwo twaremewe kuba muri ziriya ntambara, ntabwo twaremewe guhura na biriya bibazo, ariko dukwiriye kugira inshingano nkuru yo kurwanya kiriya kintu ngo twibashe gucika. Turashimira buri wese, tunatanga pole cyane ku miryango, ubwoko buri mu bihe bigoye. Turizera kuko ibi tuvuga umunsi umwe tuzabibamwo dufite igihugu ciza cy'amahoro, twese turi mu gihugu cyacu. Murakoze kandi mugire ibihe byiza. Murakoze.